Hi guys, welcome back. This is Lynn with PFM Arts, and as promised, here is the first part in our multi-part series about how not to end up with leftover things if you don't happen to do the same theme all the time. So I wanted to run through the types of paper that I picked out real quick and go through how I cut them and kind of how I organized them. As you can see that they're not in any signatures just yet, but I do have them grouped. So these are papers that I got from Michael's. This is kind of more of the cardstock papers, and I did start doing a little bit of stenciling on them. Some of them are still plain inside, and I'll probably end up fixing that later, but some of them do have stencils on the inside that I've added. This is going to be a 2-signature journal. Now, these were scrapbook papers that I ended up cutting down to a size of 8.5 by 11, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to match the computer paper that I've tea-dyed in size. So I started out with an 8.5 by 11 on these. And when I cut those ones down, I end up with one piece that's 1 inch wide and 12 inches long. And then I end up with another piece that's about 3 inches. Actually, that's why I have this mat down here, so I can measure. It's 3 and a little bit more. 3.5 probably. Yep, that's about right. So I'll put those to the side and I'll keep those. And I will show you how I go about using these 1 inch strips and then the 3 and whatever they are pieces. 3.5. 3.5? Yeah, 3.5. That was just a weird size piece apparently. So we're going to, again, the goal is to end up with no scraps at the end. So also in here I have the computer paper. Like I said, I've trimmed nothing off that other than rounding the corners. This is actually, I think this is coffee dyed paper. I said tea, but this is coffee. And this is a combination of coffee dyed paper and it's coffee dye, and I think I had some leftover black fabric dye, and it ended up doing this weird kind of brownish grayish color, but this is going to work perfect in this journal, so I'm super happy about this. But I didn't have to do anything to these papers other than fold them in half and then round the corners on here, because this is just notebook paper. All right, what's next? All right, these are the lighter weight scrapbook papers, and again, they were 8.5 by 11 to begin with, so I did end up with those 1 inch strips and then the 3 inch strips, and I'll show you how to do something with those later. And these ones, again, I've just rounded the corners on there. These are paper bags. I have just ironed them down and folded them in half and cut off one end, so when I put them in the journal, it's going to have a pocket on either side of the signature when I put it in there, and then just stenciled over it. These are the fly papers from a book that I had, and this was actually the size that they came in. I didn't have to cut anything off these, which was amazing. So again, just folded them in half, rounded the corners, moved on. This is a ledger book, and I did end up, I think, with about a 2 inch piece down at this, oh yeah, on the side here where I had to cut it off. And again, we'll come back to those later. This is regular paper size. Didn't have to do anything to those, but besides around the corners, same thing here and same thing here. Actually, that's not true. This is packing paper, like if you're moving. So I did take one big large sheet of the packing paper, and I did cut it down to 8.5 by 11 and rounded the corners. And I do have these few sheets left over, and we'll end up doing something with this, although technically this is so neutral I could use this for something else. And the last thing, I've already started doing something with some of these. This was a piece of, I think, wrapping paper that I got in Germany, and I just love the way that it sounds. So I cut down what was left over and then just made sure that it wasn't any more than 8.5 by 11. Folded it in half, rounded the corners, and that'll be pages. I did have a little bit left that was weird sizes, and I'll show you how to do these in a subsequent video. Of course, they're not decorated and they're just kind of plain right now, but it's still cute. It'll be cute. These are coloring book pages. Again, didn't have to do anything with that, so just fold them over and round the corners, and they're good to go. And these I made with some scraps that I had, and I can show you guys how to do this in a subsequent video. These are actually really cute because, you know, not only do you have these small glassine bags that I stenciled on, and then this ledger paper that came out of a book that I got at a thrift store. You also have another pocket here just because of the way that I glued it. So pocket and then pocket, and then this will go in the signature just like that, which is pretty neat. But what I wanted to show you today is I have, I think 6 sheets left. Yeah, 6 sheets left of this red paper, and then I guess this tree wood paper that I want to include in this journal. And the easiest way to deal with scraps is if you don't have any scraps to begin with. So this portion I'm going to call Don't Start Nothing, Won't Be Nothing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an easy way to basically use up an entire piece of this paper just by making a pocket. And I'll show you that next time. Stay tuned. Have a great day, guys. Bye.